Doss, what was the best day of your life?
Oh, the wedding day.
That's a boring answer. Hawley?
Something to do with the podcast. Super Bowl, Chiefs losing.
Nah, also wrong. Also wrong. I mean, the best day of my life, and I assume yours, was the day that Jericho Australia re-signed with the pod.
It was.
There's a big day last Monday.
I keep refreshing my bank account, Doss, waiting for it to come through, but no deposits from Du Bois just yet.
Well, he's on that. I mean, we're derailed literally 10 seconds into the ad, but he said that he sent the invoice live on the show last week, right?
I sent it to the wrong email address.
It bounced back. He sent it to the wrong one.
Yeah, he's deleted it already.
He did say that.
No, I'm still getting emails from listeners on that. You must have just typed it in wrong.
Yeah, it must be my fault.
What do you think, Doss? You reckon? I mean, he's not the most
Admin error.
from him.
Yeah, Seahawk.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, it would be me.
Great worker. Admin's not your strength, though, right?
Not my strength.
So the building. So actually, that's a great ad for Hall painting a building. I know this is meant to be for Jericho, but best of both worlds if you hire Hawley, because he will paint and he won't be organised enough to send you the invoice.
That's correct. That is correct.
But I tell you who is organised. That's Jericho Australia. Smooth, wasn't it?
They are.
But they're back. They are back, and
Brand new warehouse as well. Looks prime.
brand new warehouse.
Yeah.
Warehouse number 2, I think. They're just going from strength to strength, just like Muscle Cat Media. But beard oils, Doss, hair products, colognes, a sample of which is going to be sent to us next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go, Hawley.
Because sometimes, I mean, we haven't got the aircon at the moment. It's disconnected.
Still disconnected.
Odours rising in here.
Did you notice that he didn't send a message saying that the aircon was still disconnected today?
And I'm wearing tracksuit pants.
Well, it's much cooler than last week, isn't it?
It is cooler than last week.
Yeah.
Well, look, if you...
Still would have liked a courtesy message.
Sorry, mate. I'll remember for next week. It'll be disconnected next week as well.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a beard or you want to grow a beard, if you have hair or you're trying to regrow your hair, if you smell, they have colognes. They've got everything. JerichoAustralia.com. If you want 15% off just for listeners or viewers of this show on YouTube, or just, listening wherever you're listening, 15% off code Outback at JerichoAustralia.com. Use the code Outback, 15% off. All right, we're ready to go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outback Quarterback podcast for another week as Chris Hall's looking frustrated on his computer. What's going on over there?
The internet just cut out.
Did you get back on the internet, though?
Nah, I go on my iPhone, but sometimes it just cuts out.
I mean, look, because, Doss, there's a rare sight on the screen in Muscle Cat Studios, and that is a video that's not buffering for once.
It's looking good.
It is looking HD, isn't it? Sorted that out.
The Falcons up against the Steelers week 1, in which Kirk Cousin got smacked last year.
How did you know it was week 1? Did you just remember? Because you didn't see me put that on. That was on when...
Well, the Falcons and Steelers only play each other in week 1 last year, given that they're not divisional opponents.
But you remembered it was week 1.
It was. It was Kirk
How does he
Cousins'
remember
debut
this
for
stuff?
the Falcons.
No, he's just
It's amazing.
student of the game.
He is a student of the game, and that's why we love you, Doss. Doss, that's why he's our QB1, in fact. QB1, Doss. Matt Maidment, real name, but nobody knows him as that on this show. Chris Hall, Hawley, our QB2. Did you salute, Doss? Sorry, did you salute
No,
the
I
camera?
didn't this week. Well, I sort of gave a little head.
Okay. Well, if you want to do your
this
special
week.
salute now, you can do it. Do you want
No,
to
well, the moment's
Moment's
passed.
gone, yeah. You're right,
You've
moment's
killed
gone.
it.
I was just trying
Well,
to
Hawley,
bring it back.
Hawley did it, so he gave the salute.
All right, well, I'm Kurt, QB3. And whilst we're talking to our YouTube watchers, as they continue to grow in number, Doss, do you want to give them a little...
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
No, go continue with YouTube.
No, you have to talk now.
I forgot about the 4,000 Instagram followers.
Oh!
We're there.
Oh.
So did I.
Is
we
this
are.
the night?
Well, it's hot enough.
It's
Get
hot
the shirt
enough.
off.
I thought there was
he's
a
backing
consensus
He's backing out. I
that
knew
we
it.
would do it when the deck is finished,
Oh, yeah.
Is
out
that
on the new deck.
Right.
Back.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a little while away, isn't it?
But you tried to rope the two of us to do it as well.
I-
I'm most certainly not
Oh.
doing that.
I think it should be a team
No.
event.
I'm happy to
I'll
vote.
lead as QB1, so I'll go up front.
All right.
No, you'll lead and you'll be the only one doing it.
Nah,
You're not bringing us in at the end.
come on.
This
Why
is
not?
your thing.
For those who don't know, the deal that Hawley's been trying to push for a long time is when we finally reached 4,000 Instagram followers, and hello and thank you to all of our followers. When we finally got to that milestone, he wanted Doss to do a topless gritty because...
Hey, I think he said he would do it. Weren't you the
I
one that
think
came
he
up with
might
it?
have.
It might have been my idea.
Yeah, it was his idea. Thank you.
It wasn't actually
yeah,
his
it wasn't
idea.
mine. I want him to get fully naked. He just wants to take his top off.
That's
I
right.
think we compromised.
That's right. I love how you've been talked down and it's still a bad deal for you.
Well, it's not that bad.
No,
I'll just need a
good read.
Tan
bit
up.
of, I need to tan up a little bit though.
But the law,
Cooler months.
the law of the show, LORE law, history of the show, is that when we reached 1,000 2.5 years ago, you did a gritty. It was with shirt on, but it was very impressive. You put the little pokes in, the Justin Jefferson stuff.
The concourse of Cluggus Arena that was done.
With a nice little sparkly filter over the top. Yeah, it was good. It was good. So that's why we want the gritty again at 4,000. So yeah, maybe when the deck's done, we can unveil the new Muscle Cat deck and Dos can christen it topless.
I certainly can't do it down that driveway.
Come on, that driveway gag's getting old, isn't it? How many times do you think we've mentioned that in the show?
I didn't get a mention last week.
Yeah. So listeners were clamoring for it this week, were they? Just desperate to hear about it again. What have we got? We've got headlines. What were we talking about? Something? Oh, YouTube. Yeah. Subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make sure, everyone, the subscribers are going like this. The views are going basically vertical on the metrics. The Manhattans.
It's like we've gone like half a run and over to about 36 runs and over. I think we had over 20,000 views now last week.
Yeah, right.
Our shorts are going pretty well.
So like Marnus was nicked up after 80 balls.
We're sending Glenn Maxwell.
And now Trav Head and Glenn Maxwell are partnering up.
That's right. So yeah, please get on there. I release shorts and reels earlier than I do on Instagram, and sometimes there's things that go on YouTube that don't go on the Insta. So if you think you're getting it all on Insta, you're not necessarily. So Outback QB podcast there. We do have a little bit to get through as far as headlines. There were some big headlines this week. But before we get there, we had our relegation contemplation segment last week. Dos, you were unsure about it. Hawley, you were all about it. And I think it worked out well. We certainly got some attention. I was abused heavily by Ken B, the draft man. He calls himself.
Yes, you were.
Absolute. I've never seen that many words in caps lock in my life, followed by angry emojis. Basically, he was disappointed. Well, he directed his ire at me, Hawley, but you were the only one who didn't vote the Browns out, because both Dos and I did, and if you'd done it, they would have been banished forever according to our rules.
No, I stand by it. They're an exciting team this year.
Yeah, well, exciting.
It's not about exciting.
Yeah.
Good
interesting.
for content.
It'll be an
team.
interesting team.
They will, but Ken's point was, they had the 131 run across 2 years not long ago, and now they've got all the other stuff, so they should be banished forever. But what I loved about Ken's email was that not only did he duplicate what he emailed me on our YouTube, so he had the same comment publicly as he did privately, but after sending that abusive email with about 30 angry face emojis, 3.5 hours later, he was still so angry that he replied to his own email with one more angry emoji. No more words, just one more angry face. He was wound up. Ken.
And also sent into our DMs.
Did he really?
Instagram. Yes.
Okay, so he's attacked all fronts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he's passionate.
I like
It's
it.
nice.
I think it's
Have you had
fantastic.
previous interactions with Ken?
I have not.
I love that too. I love it when there's someone who we didn't know was listening that's just so angry at us that they have to write in. Who else did I have? There was a guy, Ashton Jones, on YouTube who very critical of you again, Hawley, your Jaguars take when you said that Lawrence has had enough chances. And
Well, he has.
well, so
He's
Ashton
like 5
proceeded.
years in, isn't he?
He proceeded
He's
to
still
reel off
crap.
4 years of reasons why, Urban Meyer year one, all this sort of stuff.
Sounds
Great.
like a Jags fan, doesn't it, Dos?
Well, I wrote back, sticking up for you. I said, thanks for writing in. But how many more years of excuses do you want for your quarterback? 5 more years? Will you take that? 10 more years? When do we stop? And he did not like that reply. He did not like that at all. And I said, well, I tried to placate him at the end and say, oh, mate, no, I'm not trying to, say we shouldn't be criticised. I love the back and forth. I'll bring it up on the show this week if you want me to present your argument. It'll be a great chat. Didn't hear back from that. So, Ashton, wherever you are,
both of us.
wherever you are, I assume somewhere in Duval County. Hope
Very
you're listening.
critical of the Jags, you boys.
And rightly so. What have they done? What are you critical too?
Yeah, I chop in. Uncle Doug was I was the first one that
You wanted him sacked after
Last
like
year.
3 days. You
pretty
never
sure
liked that appointment, did
pretty
you?
sure I called it the year prior that he was going to be one of the first ones.
Well, if
on
it's
the
going to
chopping
happen,
block.
Dos, if it's going to happen, it's going to be this year with Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr. and Trevor. Trevor has to do something this year.
He's got to do something.
Has
Got to
to.
do something. All right.
No
we got-
longer big game Gabe though.
Wow. What
Oh,
a
no.
segue. What a segue into headlines.
Just such a good layup. Couldn't resist.
That was good.
Sky hooks.
Did you see the halftime score in the NBA today, Dos?
Pacers smashing
80
the
to
Cavs.
39.
Love to see it.
I don't watch much NBA. See, I watch so little NBA that I can't remember what it's called. But I've never seen a scoreline like that at halftime. That's
Well,
rare. 80 in playoffs.
Playoffs it is, yeah.
Extraordinary.
You can see a bit of junk time back into the season when the
Yeah.
Washington Wizards or Charlotte Hornets or Brooklyn Nets are lobbing up on a
The Jacksonville
early
Jaguars
morning
of the
slate.
NBA.
He wouldn't be giving any of those guys MVP votes for those junk time hoops.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, just like that, we cover the NBA now. All right, Derek Carr has retired. Shocking if you told us 2 months ago. Maybe not as
You
shocking.
could almost say shocking.
Hey,
Oh,
Tyler Shocking.
Nailed it.
That is good.
Thanks.
That's really good. So not to trivialize his entire career, but nice pun. 11 years in the NFL. He was a second-round draft pick to the Raiders in 2014. Spent 9 years at Oakland and how many in Vegas?
2. Oh,
Okay,
in Vegas.
So 7 and 2. Yeah,
Sorry.
I think they moved back to Vegas for the last 2 years of his tenure there. Anyway, that's by the by.
think it's
2
3,
years then in New Orleans. 41,000 yards across his career, boys. That's 22nd all time. 257 TDs. He had his ups and downs. He, famously didn't win a playoff, got injured when they were going to playoffs and all those sorts of things. So he's had a lot of bad luck and has been beaten up in his career physically. And it was ultimately the shoulder injury that forced his retirement, the one that we heard about probably 6 weeks ago now, Doss, and started to hear rumors that he might not play this year. And now
Well, he did against the Giants. He was
Well,
going
so-
for
yeah.
a run.
we started to
and
hear
then
about the severity of it and
Yeah.
the longevity of it, I should say.
Yes, that came out just before towards not long after the free agency, and then certainly in the lead up to the draft. Most passing yards without a playoff win in history. Derek Carr, 41,000 that you mentioned. Second is Andy Dalton at 39,500. Third, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Drops down to about 34,000 after that. But franchise leader for the Raiders in passing yards, touchdowns, passer rating, completion percentage, and games played. A lot of instability with the Raiders in his time there, and his best season was the season they went 12-4. He went 12-3 as the starter. Third in MVP behind Matt Ryan and Tom Brady. That was in 2016. But the knock on him as a quarterback is the 63-79 win-loss record and the no playoff wins, right? But
Yeah, and it's not often that you see quarterbacks stay that long with a record like that. But there's two schools of thought with Carr. One is he wasn't good enough. One is the organization was never good enough for him. And ultimately, it never really got to great heights. But it seems like a guy who's just been so physically beaten up, and mentally too, probably, with all the scrutiny over the last little while. And now, unfortunately, his wife suffered a miscarriage recently as well. That was made public, and that was, I think, a contributing factor to this decision of, I'm just done. I've got to heal my body, spend some time with my family, and he's set up for life. What did he earn? 195 million guaranteed over the course of
it
his
ticked
career?
over to 205 because he
good on
got
him.
the March roster bonus for 10 mil this season guaranteed. So I think
Look
it
at that.
just
he's
ticked over
probably
to 205.
financially, he's probably okay.
I think he's set.
But look, I respect it. If you're done, you're done. He's 34. He's got a long life ahead of him. It made me think of Nico Rosberg. And I know that Rosberg won the World Championship in F1 and then decided to retire, but he was a lot younger than he could have been when he went out, Doss. And I know Carr hasn't won the Super Bowl, but he's looked at it and gone, I'm not going to put myself through it anymore. I'm done.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't roll into some sort of media role and
Like his brother.
keeps himself busy that way. If he just ends up having a year off, heals his body, gets right. He's still only 34 years old.
We said that about Andrew Luck, didn't
Yeah, I
we?
think
People
Luck-
always hold out hope. I don't think that'll
Luck
happen.
was different
Why?
because he was younger and he was the guy. Like, he was the savior of the franchise. And I think that pressure is more than what Carr's probably been under. He's injured, and obviously there's some family stuff.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's expecting Carr to be a world beater. I think he hurt his shoulder. It's been bad. Give him a year off. Club teams might come calling, and there might be something there.
I don't know. Sometimes I get tired of never just letting a story be that and that's it. Like, we're already looking forward to Derek Carr coming back, are we? Like, can't we
Well,
just...
I'm not looking forward to it. I'm just saying he's only 34. If there's a team that needs a quarterback in the next couple of years, they look at a 35, 36-year-old Derek Carr and think, he could do it if he's keen, and they want
guess.
to move. Mate, his final year of college football, Doss, 50 TDs.
Fresno
Fresno
State
State.
Bulldogs.
Fresno State, 50 and 8.
Was Devontae there that year?
I'm not sure.
He probably caught 30.
Ooh. Let me have a look.
No, Devontae's not 34. Oh, he might be.
No,
was
his final
Dylan.
Yeah, it
year-
might have been his
31.
first
Yeah.
year. Yeah, might have been
maybe
Devontae's
so.
first year. Anyway, Doss, any more to add on Derek Carr? I mean, it's a career that's a bit hard to judge. We had some people commenting trash can emojis, and we had some people giving him an 8 out of 10. So where do you sit on Derek Carr's career?
Yeah, I would say overall, if you want to look at it, about a 6 to 6.5 if you're going to rate it out of 10.
I think for a guy...
he leads the franchise in a lot of key quarterback metrics, right?
Yeah.
And it's a long, storied franchise. Like it's
yeah.
not like it's just been around for 30 years.
No, that's right. But it's hard to evaluate because 85% of quarterbacks don't play anywhere near that long.
Correct.
So if you're evaluating out of all quarterbacks ever to be drafted or picked up, it's a 9 out of 10. But if you're evaluating out of the guys that have been around for 11 years, it's significantly lower than that. So interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, he won't be a Hall of Famer, but yeah.
Seems like a good man too, Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I know he seems a bit gooby, but seems to have good principles and has always come across well. Very selfless teammate. So that's Derek Carr. Speaking of selfless teammates, George Pickens was traded, we know now, to the Dallas Cowboys. Couldn't help but throw shade on the way out. We'll get to that in a second. 2026 third round pick and then a late round pick swap as well. Didn't they get enough? How does the Pickens move turn out? And did you like him calling Pittsburgh the cheapest organization on Twitter yesterday?
He probably didn't need to, but we were always
already.
We were expecting something, weren't we? And he delivered. But
maybe we should talk to his father about that. Now that we know his dad.
Imagine if it was him. Unbelievable. No, I think Dallas did really well. I think they won that. A third round pick. These receivers don't seem to go for a lot.
Well, not post-draft. I mean, he could have made a move pre-draft.
Could have, but he's played 3 years in the league. He's been top 10 in yards per catch every year, second in that category in 2023.
Top 10 in yards per catch.
So, but what I'm saying
Not
is,
a premium stat.
if his receptions now rise a little with Dak, watch his numbers skyrocket, Doc, and then it's time for George Pickens to flourish. We're talking offensive player of the year.
Oh, come on.
Pro Bowl.
Are we now?
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
I mean,
with CD's going to take all the attention, correct?
no.
Okay.
I'm just.
Yes.
Does it really work that way? Like, oh, there's a better receiver on the team, therefore George will be a superstar. Like, does that?
He's not
going to
be a superstar. I think they're almost. I think I would call them the best duo in the league now.
Good.
Ahead of Chase and Higgins.
You got him ahead of AJ Brown and Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I do.
I saw the
And
Cowboys.
Addison and Jefferson.
The Cowboys fan released the NFC East wide receiver like duo tiers, and they put Brown and Smith last.
That might have been
4th out of 4.
There are some good receivers there, though.
Oh, very
in the
good.
East.
Yeah, I think that was a little swag.
No, I like the move. I think Dallas did really well. They needed another playmaker on offense. Doss has been going at them for a long time now that they're a boring franchise. They're not making moves, and they've made one, paid a third rounder for it. Not much in the scheme of things to get someone like George Pickens, who is a decent receiver.
I think it's a cool move.
Yeah,
I can't
great
wait
move.
to see it. Yeah, and it's in 3 years already. The Pickens Steelers storylines got old, didn't they? It's like every 3 weeks there's something new there. So
And he's only 24.
yeah,
He's young. He's really young still. So there are guys getting drafted this year in the second round that were 24. So he's got plenty to go.
All right.
Dak likes throwing the ball deep. Number one in the most passing yards, or number one, on 15-yard go routes in the NFL.
Do you think that would
Second
suit?
most attempts. And George Pickens over the last 2 years, to your point, Hawley, number one.
Yeah.
Most receiving yards on 15-plus yard.
Might suit
go
someone
routes.
whose yards per catch are quite high, Curtis.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go. But
It all comes together.
it allows CeeDee Lamb to play more from the slot, Pickens on the outside. I like it from the Cowboys. Are we going to do a Steelers debrief on this? Because
Oh yeah,
we got a series of events here with Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Martavius Bryant, George Pickens.
Troubled.
How many? The scouting department for wide receivers in Pittsburgh. And now we got DK Metcalf there, who's prone to a little bit of noise.
maybe they are a cheap organization.
Wait for DK to lose it the next couple of years.
I don't know what the Steelers are doing. They don't have a quarterback. I mean, they got Mason Rudolph and Will Howard in the draft, but I just don't understand the Steelers' approach on offense at all at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're
it's an
going
odd
to
mix.
do. I don't know what scheme they're going to go. Puzzling to me.
It is puzzling. Let's move on to stuff that makes a lot of sense to you, Doss, and that's fixtures. That's fixtures because they drip-fed us a game this week, didn't they? You were refreshing day after day, and they said the Chiefs and the Chargers are playing in Brazil in week 1.
They are. Full schedule release will be this Thursday, our time. Yes.
Is that all they've given us so far? Chiefs, Chargers, Brazil?
Yeah. Well, there's been a bit of noise not long before we started recording on Cowboys at Eagles as the kickoff the Thursday night
Well,
to
that's good.
start the season, which would be
Oh,
awesome.
Pickens to light it up against the Eagles.
So that's only just rumors on social media swirling in the last couple of hours. Now, in terms of the drip feed, so tomorrow morning, so what are we recording now? Monday afternoon. So Tuesday morning, Australian time, we'll see some NBC, so some Sunday night football leaks, Fox and Amazon, which is the TNF. They're going to start to drip feed some marquee games from tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And then Wednesday morning, our time, will be the ESPN, CBS, and the Netflix, which is like the Christmas games and Black Friday, I think Netflix have got as well. That'll be on Wednesday morning, our time. And then the full schedule will be out on the Thursday.
Okay. All happening. Big week for you, Dos. Another big week when we talk Gabe Davis. It's always big when we talk big game Gabe. Gone from Jacksonville, as you alluded to before. He's been released. There's rumors the 49ers and Seattle are reportedly looking into it. One report had the headline, Seattle looking at Davis as replacement for DK Metcalf, although that website was oddly called motorcyclesports.com, so I'm not sure how reliable that is. But it was the first headline that came up when I Googled Davis. So he's gone. Any excitement there to see where he goes, Dos?
Not really.
Okay, Jadeveon Clowney's also been released, gone from
unfortunately.
Carolina, 14 games, 5.5 sacks in his 1 year there. He's 32 years old, still seeking that Super Bowl and that 10-sack season. And the last little bit of news is Shamar Stewart, the number 17 overall pick for the Bengals, their first rounder this year, the defensive end, 4.5 sacks in college, and that's enough for him to hold out from their rookie minicamp.
Cincy do it differently. So every other team has a injury waiver / clause. So if the rookies,
For rookies.
if the rookies train, they get injured, their contract is still safe if they haven't signed. Whereas Cincy don't have it. So if he went and got injured before he signed his contract, that's why a second round pick hasn't signed either. So if either of them get injured before they've signed their deal with the Bengals, there's just bad luck.
So this is a Cincy problem as opposed to a Shamar Stewart problem.
Yeah, so it's smart by them because the
Interesting.
31 other teams have a waiver or a whatever it is in the contract.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. They also have a one-day minicamp only instead of 3 for the rookies.
Oh, there you
Maybe that contributes or ties in with that rookie thing, that
Yeah.
injury thing. It's an odd situation. I don't know why they wouldn't just come to the party for him and avoid the story.
Just, give him the money and sign the contract. Let's get it done.
Yeah, very odd. Unnecessary story, but that's what's going on at the Bengals. We'll be back in a second. Boys, last week in headlines, we announced the re-signings of Suburban Brew and Jericho Australia. It was a big week in the front office at Musclecat Studios. I also teased a free agency signing, aka a new sponsor coming on board, and that is the great boys, the great men at Sports Card World, DOS, an institution in Adelaide. We've got a lot of people who are interested in trading cards, NFL and beyond. They do NFL, NBA, all sorts. Pokemon if you're into it. You've been there and got some for the kids.
Yep.
I used to go there. This is true. I used to go there as a kid all the time, Sports Card World. I went with my cousin from the age of 6 through to 12. It was one of the highlights of my week when I ever got to Sports Card World. So it's cool that now they're sponsoring Outback QB.
It's a great store. I go in and Benny puts the NFL singles. He gets them up, puts the box on
Does he?
cabinet for me. We chat. He
Good
brings out his special ones from out the back. And I just flick through the singles to have a bit of a look to see if there's any bargains in the or any autos. Picked up a Dallas Turner auto from there and Jalen Carter and what was the other one? Oh, Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, nice.
A little while ago
Well, that's
when I
cool.
went there.
Yeah, very good. But yeah, Sports Card World. If you're in Adelaide, a lot of people listening and watching are from Adelaide. But if you're visiting or live here, make sure you get there. They're at the hang on, let me just double check the arcade, DOS. Regent Arcade. I always get confused between the Adelaide and the Regent Arcade. Rundle Mall, Regent Arcade. But boys, the most important thing is, well, there's two things. We're going to be doing a giveaway, another giveaway for our listeners coming soon in a few weeks' time. But we've also got a new segment, right, based on Sports Card World and the goodies that they give us. Now, I've got in my hot little hands some packs of cards. We're just going to open one tonight, Dos. I'll give you the choice.
Oh, I thought we were getting all three open.
Well, we've got to make this last 3 or 4 weeks, mate, all right?
Oh, okay.
Let's not go crazy. We've got the Rookies and Stars or the Prestige 24. What do we want?
What do you got here? What's
Well,
this one that you've
this-
kept off to the side that you didn't want to open up?
2024 Absolute Football. It's
Private
a mega
collection.
pack.
He'll open it later in case he
Well, it's
snags a good player.
It's 20 cards, so let's just leave this
Oh,
until
okay.
later week.
All right.
Can we just roll into this segment semi-smoothly, please, without being interrupted at literally every turn? Anyway,
Come
still
on.
want to do this or what?
What do you got?
Thanks to Sports Card World.
Prestige.
Rookies.
Rookies. He wants Rookies and Stars. You both said the opposite one at the same time. We'll go Rookies and Stars. And what the segment is, it's called bright or bleak, right? So what we're doing, we're opening these, and Dos, actually, you can open it, and you can dish them out.
Jeez, be careful. There could be something special.
Take it easy, boss.
You can dish them out one by one, all right? So maybe give one to Hawley first up
Okay.
in the order that they come out. And whatever player or team it is, we need to predict, are they having a bright or a bleak 2025? So this is unscripted radio.
Can I have the first card?
Yeah, you can have the first one. Who is it?
Justin Jefferson.
Okay. Well, that's actually a good one to start. Yeah, hold on.
Bright or bleak, Dos?
Pretty bright for Jedders.
Although he's got a second-year quarterback coming off an ACL, he's never thrown a ball.
Doesn't matter. Did you see he still performed well when he had Nick Mullins?
That's true.
Jared Mullins.
No, I'm happy.
No, Nick
Right.
Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Yeah. Who's Jared Mullins?
I don't know.
Yeah, school
Where
friend.
did that come from? I don't know.
Dave, it was mates with Dave Cleary.
Dave.
Jaron Hall was the one I was thinking.
Jaron Hall, that's right.
Nick
All right.
Mullins, Jaron
Speaking of Hall, hand one to Hawley. What do we got there?
Hope Dave as well.
Well, this is a tricky one, Hawley.
Who's he got?
Oh, Bleak. Carl Pitts. No chance. Sorry, buddy.
Bleak for Pitts.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought everyone's
Right.
saying year 5 he's got to be a superstar.
Contract year.
I think he's still only 19 years old. He got drafted that early, so he's a chance.
All right, who we got here? Oh, Travis Etienne
Oh.
Jr. Now, I mean, look, it can't possibly be as bleak as it was last
Is it
year.
compared to
can it?
last year or just in general?
Yeah, if we're looking at expectations from 2 years ago, I would say very bleak for Etienne. But you know what? I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say bright. He's going to bounce back. He's going to at least produce a little bit. He'll outrank Bigsby, surely, as the running back one
Gutsy
again
call,
this
Kurt.
year. God, yeah, not even started gutsy calls yet. Who you got, Dos?
I haven't. I have got Eugene Smith.
Oh, Geno Smith.
Geno
right.
Smith.
Oh,
Is his first name actually Eugene?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Go and have a look.
Oh, I thought he was born a Geno.
No, I'm Eugene.
Geno Smith. Let's have a look at that full name. It is.
Oh,
Oh, what a name.
Cyril.
Eugene Cyril Smith
There you
III.
go. See?
awesome.
It's a great name.
That's a great name.
I
Despite
like
the
him
fact
more.
that he's in his Seattle colours here, he will have a bright season for the Raiders.
You think so?
Yes, I think he will.
You happy enough with that wide receiver core at Las Vegas? We were talking about this before. It's Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and draftee Jack Beck or Beach, however they like to say.
Yeah, and then you've got Brock Bowers as your safety blanket who will just
Sure.
tear it up.
The wide receiver's a bit thin.
Oh, well,
Beck better
was-
come on.
bit thin last year too.
That's true.
My God, Myers wasn't too bad last year,
Yeah,
given
he's
the
okay.
quarterback play with Minshew and AOC.
He's okay, but I don't think he's an out-and-out wide receiver one.
Maybe not, but Geno is an upgrade at quarterback for the Raiders, so I think
100%.
it would be fine. Oh, here we go, man. Well, this will be good.
Oh, is that CD? Oh, yeah. Right. Well, actually, you know what? George is going to steal a lot of limelight. Could be a bleak year. Nah, CD's going to be bright. No doubt about that.
You got a man that's wanting a payday and a new contract, Kurt.
Who is it? Oh, James Cook. Yes, he was on NFL.com today, Cookie. He's a weird one. He's always hard to predict for me. Hawley, you're the James Cook expert in this room.
Bright point last year where his touchdowns, he had a lot of them.
He did.
But whether or not he can replicate that. But he's an impact player.
He is.
He's not going to have 25 carries a week. He'll have his 15, but he'll go at 6 or 7.
So dangerous in the backfield. I love
That's
James
what- yeah.
Cook.
Who have we got? Yeah, there's not much backing him up, is there?
Who's gonna take
Ty
the
Johnson.
Ty Johnson, Ray Davis.
So who takes the
Darrington
goal
Evans,
line
yeah.
carries? Because he lost out on a lot of them in the last couple of years.
Did Ty-
To Josh Allen,
Yeah,
What- yeah.
that's right. To his quarterback. That's true. Yeah.
to the MVP of the league.
I'm going to say Bright because every time I write off the Bills,
The offense is
wrong.
good enough that he will have a decent year.
Wise. Learn your lessons.
I have learned my
like it.
lesson. Who have you got,
Whose turn
Dos?
now? Whoa.
Here we go.
Polarizing figure.
Ooh.
Quentin Johnson
Yeah.
on the artistry in motion.
Oh, that's
card.
the coolest card with the worst player.
It's not a bad little card for a base card.
Well, I mean, they've added some pieces in that wide receiver room too, Dos.
Yeah, they
Chargers.
have.
It's more, will he still be on the roster?
Oh, yeah. He showed enough last year.
I am not. Oh, and I got to be positive. No, let's go bright for Quentin Johnson.
That's a big call.
Because he's got, so Trey Harris was drafted in the second
Yeah.
round, and they got Mike Williams back too.
Yeah.
Is Harris a deep threat?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He
So-
was
so
leader of yards per catch in college.
Gee, it's an important stat.
Wow.
It's
It
a
is,
really
yeah.
important stat, isn't it?
Or last season in college he was.
Okay. So did you say Bright?
Yeah.
What does Bright look like for Quentin Johnston this year? How many yards does he need to be?
Have you got the stats up in front of you? I don't have
I can get
Quentin
him.
Johnson's in front of you.
800?
I was going to say 800. Yeah.
What,
As
5
wide
TDs?
receiver 4.
No, it
Interesting.
was.
He had 711 yards and 8 TDs last year. That's
Yeah.
a sneaky
So I'm
good
going
year.
to say
Right.
Yeah.
850 and 8 again. 8
Well, he's gone
touchdowns again.
backwards. Last year he was wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that Williams plays that many snaps.
He'll be
this
hit.
year,
Yeah,
to be honest.
Mike Williams is not.
He'll
I
play
mean, I love
40%
Mike Williams,
snaps.
but he's not unfortunately, he's not the Mike Williams from 5 years ago.
No, he's not. All right, Dos, hit me.
Oh, you got a good one.
Oh, Rome. Oh, Rome has to be a hit as well.
Roma Dunze,
Yeah.
Chicago Bears wide receiver.
That's the one. Rookie rush.
Is that all you're saying? Just
Yeah, hit. Of course. Oh,
Bright.
no, what is it?
Bright.
Bright.
Or Bleak. Yeah.
Bright, yeah,
We've
Bright.
had 10 different iterations of like good or bad, don't we?
Definitely Bright.
Yeah.
Second year, Caleb, they've got a better line. Caleb will have more time to throw. Rome will be a beneficiary of that.
Am I hearing all in on Caleb Williams coming from Chris Hall's seat?
I am
Hawley-
actually a little bit in on it.
Are you really?
Wait for the Hawleys. Is this Hawley's
Hawley's
heroes?
heroes. Don't tell me we've foreshadowed Hawley's
Have we
heroes.
got-
Caleb's not in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Roma Dunze.
But there'll be Bears
Rome's fine.
players in it.
No, there isn't.
Oh.
Okay. What do we got? How many cards we got left, Dos?
2.
All right. Come on, hit me.
So
This is like being at the casino.
you got a nice rookie card here.
A rookie Drake May. This will be a hit. So many things that have come up. We were talking about off air
Pre-show.
pre-show.
Mhm.
Drake May. How optimistic can we be about the Pats this year? Is it a slight rise or is it a big rise? I hope it's a big rise. I'm in on Drake May now. I think I've fully decided I am definitely in on him. So I'm going to say Bright. But
I'm in on Drake May too.
How
I
good
love
will
him.
Stephon Diggs be this year? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, he's not in this pack and not the last card, so we don't have to have that discussion
Yeah,
right
okay.
now. But
it's
that'll be
relevant to May.
No, it is.
Anyway.
And they got Williams in the draft.
Yep.
Diggs, Douglas. Who else you got there?
Trevion running backs.
Keishon Booty.
Yeah, Henderson I like in the backfield.
Yeah.
So they got Stephon Diggs,
He's a
Matt
bit of a-
Collins, Demario
Matt
Douglas.
Collins was their
Yeah.
other signing. I couldn't think of.
I think
it.
Henderson turned into a bit of a Kamara-like player. So that's another target for Drake to hit.
His first year in college was insane. Henderson, like, he was going.
Just needs to stay fit.
All right. What's the last card, Dos?
Fitting, my boy Chop Robinson.
Well, we know the answer. I can play the jingle now.
He was bright last year.
He was.
And he's going to be bright again. Linchpin of that offense, that defense in Miami.
Yeah, he was good, Chop. He showed more than I thought he would, and
Yeah.
especially in a D line that wasn't fantastic last
No,
year.
he was
so
good.
They need him. They need him big time.
Yeah,
So that's brought to us by Sports Card World. It was a good seg. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to next week's one.
Like that, the 20 pack next week. Let's make a full dedicated
I want
episode.
that
of it.
prestige one.
If you haven't followed them yet, I know a lot of you listening have, but Instagram, Sports Card World Adelaide, send them a message and just say, hey, we heard the boys talking about Sports Card World on the DMs. If you want to support this show, that's a great way to do it. Send the boys at Sports Card World a message saying, these guys really pumped you up. All right, we'll be back in a sec. All right, Dos, this is the Dos segment now. You've requested this. You love it. Over under. You've got the odds thanks to MGM. That's where you got them from, BetMGM. Not a sponsor. I just am giving them a shout out
Vegas.
for the
MGM in Vegas.
Vegas, yeah. Shout out for the reference, just so that we are not blamed for the lines that have been
If
picked.
they want to jump on board.
Oh, more.
know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah. So we're doing the NFC
Yeah.
this week, fellas. So AFC next week. So make sure you tune in for that. But you got to stay on because we're going to cover off the NFC in great detail. I think we start in the West.
Yeah. So, sorry, let's just say what the segment is. You're going to list the over-unders? Would you want me to do
alright.
it? I can
Well,
do it. And then we'll very quickly say over-under for each one. For win totals, wins for the team.
Win totals. This is Vegas have put these out. Oh, they came out about 6 weeks ago, but then there's been some adjustment post-draft. A little
Alright.
bit, as always is the way. Not much. So let's start with the NFC West.
All right.
49ers have the highest win line, 10.5.
Yeah, that's clearly under.
Under.
Last season, they were 6-11.
Well, if we're saying clearly under, that means over.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you recording these, by the way? You typing all these in, or are you just going to do it post after? Because we're going to measure these, aren't we? Tick them off at the end of the season.
Are we? Oh.
Well, you can't really because there's a certain number of games that can be won or lost. So at the end of the year, we're probably going to be like the best you can. No, I suppose you can pick every.
Well, we've also later in about a month's time, we're going to have our win totals draft off. So I reckon we track that one. This is not as much of a competition. This
Oh,
is just
okay.
entertainment now.
All right,
People
well,
can
I've
write
got-
in if they're dismayed with their answers.
I've gone the under. I don't see 11 wins, but I see 10 wins.
No,
out
you
of
can
this
track
team.
it if you want.
I will
Yeah,
actually.
you do it.
You don't see 11, but you see 10.
Yep, under.
So specific.
You
so
like that?
specific. Go
All
on,
right.
let's go.
Rams are next. Their line is 9.5. They were 10-7 last season.
Go over. You don't doubt Sean McVay.
I think they'll go over. I think they'll be better this year than last year. Oh no, I already called them to have an early round. No, I have to go under, according to last week's.
Why?
because I called them to have a like pick 5 in the draft, so they have to go under.
Okay, good
Yeah.
consistency. I like that. Dos, keep going.
Yeah, they started 1-4 last season, finished 9-3 to make the playoffs.
Never doubt McVay.
Cardinals are next. Their line is 8.5. Last season they were 8-9.
I'm saying under because I don't trust them to perform how they should. When I see it, I'll believe it. The defense has been upgraded, but it'll take a while.
I'll say over for the Cards.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well because I think they'll get 9 wins.
Okay.
You know, the 4th highest games missed on defense due to injury last season, Kurt.
Okay. Is this
And they played the 3rd hardest schedule of opposing offenses as well. But this has to be a step up year for Kyler Murray. I don't want to see that back end of the season where it was 5 losses in the final 7 games and he's responsible for pretty much all of them. With just bad decision making in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, fourth quarters
Right.
exclusively.
That
Have you guys all gone overs with Cardinals because you've got Seahawks unders on 7.5?
So Seattle, their line is 7.5,
Yeah.
and they went 10-7 last season, and I'm going the under.
And you are too, aren't you?
I'll take an under for Seattle. 100%.
You guys are joking. It's over. Why does everybody dismiss Sam Darnold so easily?
I'd dismiss him behind this offensive line and with Clint Kubiak as offensive coordinator.
7.5 is he took Minnesota to 14 wins last year.
I suppose he's only
had
he's only got one receiver to throw to as well.
Well, he
JSN,
might have Gabe
Cooper
Davis
Kupp.
soon.
Oh,
so
sorry, he could have 1.1 receivers to.
So you're off Cup then? You're done with Cooper Kupp? Despite you having his jersey and helmet signed in your house.
Did you forget about Cup?
He's starting to get a little bit older now. I did forget about him, but he's been a little bit injury prone the last couple of years. He had one good season.
I like how
We spoke
you admitted
about-
you forgot about it, but still started to make up excuses as to why.
Well, we
he's not
spoke
good.
about this a couple of months ago, I think, didn't we? Cup's really just had that one big season,
Yeah,
and
but he's
apart
still-
from that, it's always
Still good.
Triple Crown season.
yeah, it was a very good season.
It was a good season. Nah, it's over. It's over 7.5. Surely.
Okay.
Okay, where are we going now?
I'm not as... I think they'll play awesome on defense. I just don't see it on the offensive side of the ball this season for Seattle. But I think Nick Imamwari's got the potential to be the second coming of Cam Chancellor. I like him a lot. And in the draft, they did address their needs, Kurt. I
they
think
did.
we like their draft. All right, let's go to the NFC South. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All under. Whatever the lines are, they're all under.
Tampa Bay, 9.5. They went 10-7 last season.
I like Tampa's offense still. Like, I really like
So do
it.
I.
And 7 losses is, I'll take them for the over.
Yeah, I'm going the over
Yeah.
too because their defense should be a little better. They didn't lose any key personnel, and the only key person they lost on offense was Liam Cohen, their offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I'm saying over as well because my theory is that they stay the same while this division continues to get worse.
Well,
for the
they're-
most part.
And their offensive line is the best in this division by an absolute mile.
Yep.
And they're easily top 10 in the NFL as well. This one's a good one. I think we'll all be the same here. Falcons, 7.5. Last year, they were 8-9.
Under.
Well, you're not backing the Michael Penix and defensive
rookie.
side in the draft?
It's not. So I thought about this one long and hard because it is a good line at 7.5. It's not just Penix. It's the whole Penix Cousins mess that I don't like. I think it's the whole room and the vibe around it. It just makes me a little uncomfortable as to how it plays out because of the pressure if there's a couple of bad weeks and all of a sudden these things get on top of teams. So, yeah, the defense could be much improved. I like their draft, but I just have a vibe that it's not going to work out.
Do you think they could just completely derail?
Maybe. And also, I tend towards optimism for these things, and I always end up with too many overs. So I had to adjust a couple under, and this is one that I had to sacrifice.
See, my problem is I'd take the over here, but then I'm also going to take the over with Carolina. And I don't think this division can win that many games, can it?
Well, you never know because there's the other team in this division that I don't think is going to win
Yeah, that's
too many
good.
at all.
well, what
Probably
was the
won't
Saints line? That's a good one. They were 6.5, weren't they?
So
it's
yeah.
under.
So I'm going to go.
I'll take Atlanta over and Carolina over, Saints under. Done.
All right, I'm going Falcons over. So I think they'll be over.
Yep.
Of course.
Good
Now,
reason.
yeah. Well, you've covered off everything else.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a bad.
Saints, 6.5?
Saints, I've gone under.
Yeah. Well, I think, was this line done before?
They were 5-12 last season. This was before Derek Carr's retirement. I did take
The
it.
line should be 4.5 now with Shuck.
It probably will drop. Yeah, it'll drop to at least 5.5. I would think.
Has to.
But even then, I'm still taking the under because they won 5 games last year, and Derek Carr started all 5 of those games. that they won.
Oh my gosh.
5-5.
Did they not win?
No, they were 0-7
Oh my gosh.
without him starting.
Well, the crazy thing is this quarterback room, not only have they got a rookie QB1 now, in we assume Shuck, but it's a battle. Rattler and Hayner.
Yeah.
Like, that is the youngest room I have ever seen. There's no veteran there for mentoring at all now that Carr's gone. So it's really
Have they got
shaken.
space, salary cap space?
Saints never
They got
have
nothing,
salary
do
cap
they?
space.
Come on, Mickey Loomis. What's he doing over there?
Because it'd be a good time to go and chase Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers just for a year while you've got these young guys. But
No, they can't
They
afford
can't
to bring
afford
in
them,
one of
can
those
they?
guys.
So Panthers over. Dos, have you gone over the 6.5?
Panthers 7 wins. I thought about this. It was tricky
Doesn't sound right,
because
does
they've
it?
still got a lot of holes on this roster.
Yeah. And we don't want to buy too much into that Bryce optimism in the last 3 games.
Ah,
do
don't
we?
worry, I will be.
Yeah, I know you have.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go Panthers under. I think it'll be 6-win season. They were 5-12 last season.
Pathetic. They'll go over, fellas.
I've gone over just, but I'm shaky on it. I literally wrote I am shaky on this prediction. All
There's
right.
just so many holes on the roster still. I think it's going to take another year, another off season.
Yep.
For Carolina. That's just now the NFC North. Oh, here we go. So the Lions have the highest line in this division, 10.5. They were 15-2 last season.
Over, but not as convincingly as last year.
Yeah, I think 10.5. I think if it was 11.5, I'd be a little bit worried, but 10.5, I like it for the Lions.
They've got the third toughest schedule in the league based on opposition projected win total. So when you look at all these lines that we're doing now, last year they were decimated on defense, yet still found a way to win 15 games. So even a regression like you're alluding to, Kurt, I still think they clear this win total even with 12 wins.
Yeah, it's just a symptom of the division being so strong, right? Like the other lines are very close. Bears 8.5. I mean, no one's taking the over there, are they?
So I was going to go to Packers, but we can do the Bears now. So Bears 8.5, 5-12 last year. I went the under for the Bears. I think they'll win 8 games.
Hawley? Mr. I'm in on Caleb Williams all of a sudden?
Let's back him.
Really?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the over.
Okay. Purely on a Caleb
Mm-hmm.
escalation.
Yep, I like it.
Packers 9.5, and they were 11-6 last season.
I wrote over, but with the inevitable Green Bay ups and downs.
Under capitulation.
That's a surprise.
And you were bullish on them last season. You and I picked them to win the division.
Yeah, but I've picked too many overs already.
Okay.
I need to cause some sort of little ruckus tonight.
Why are they going over, Dos, very quickly?
Jordan, most of their hardest opponents next season come at home, which is nice to have. That's where you want to play them. Look, skill position group is dynamic. Yes, Christian Watson has the ACL, but I still like the offensive line. The defense will be good again. And the secondary and linebacker position, as I mentioned, on defense will be fantastic. And Jordan Love never looked right. He had that knee injury in Brazil in week 1, and I just don't think he got going last season at all.
I think it's fair.
10 wins.
All right.
Comfortable. And the Vikings 8.5, and they were 14-3 last season.
Under. Now, I wrote the Vikings off last year. I mean, everybody predicted a bad year for the Vikings last year, mate.
So they were this time last year, their line was 6.5.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think the Vikings are staring down an 8 and 9 kind of season. A JJ development year.
So the Vikings last year were 8-1 in 1 touchdown games. The unknown is JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
But you figure with this roster is outside of the unknown with JJ McCarthy is pretty good on both sides of the ball, pretty complete.
Sure.
So does he only have to be average and they can win 9 games?
Maybe, possibly. It's a fair case, but I think people are too.
With the coaching of Kevin O'Connell, the
Sure.
the defense of Brian Flores.
Yep. It's a good question. I think people are too optimistic on McCarthy at the moment, and I think they are too dismissive of what Darnold did. So I think it's a big regression this year.
Handpicked by Kevin O'Connell as the quarterback.
Sure. And O'Connell's proven me wrong before.
Christian Darrisaw back, importantly.
Yep.
Missed most of last season.
Oh, it's just
Invested
where
on the offensive interior.
It's just where I am at the moment. I'm there at the moment.
Freezing Kelly.
Freezing my boys.
And our boys Van Ginkel and Cashman. You're throwing shade on them, Kurt.
No, I'm not. No, not every opinion is shade throwing, Dos. You love to run to shade.
Quarterback's never thrown the ball in the NFL. mind you. Oh, no, Michael Penix says I was big on him.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm not saying a rookie quarterback can't be good, but
So you're not going. So what are you, Hawley? You're the under.
I went under by half a game.
well, it's just a team that had 14-3 and they've departed from their quarterback. And I've said it a million times. This guy's rookie year, he had a major injury, so I'm just not at all convinced. I wasn't convinced that he was going to be a star before he got injured and when he got drafted to pick 11. So I'm certainly not now. I'm not saying he'll be a bad player. I just think there's a lot of development to happen this year.
And if Sam Darnold is half a touchdown better quarterback than JJ McCarthy is, which maybe he is at the moment, then they lose 5 more games.
That's true. And also this division is very hard.
Yep.
Lions,
And
Packers,
they got a
Bears.
very tough schedule as well outside of their division too. Yeah, I'm going to go under 2.
Oh, thanks.
You're kidding.
That's great. You should be a police investigator. You should just interrogate. That was great.
Skull my ass.
Skull my ass. We can do that.
Go, Pack,
we can do that for 5,000.
Go, Pack, go. All right. NFC East. Here we go. Last one.
All right,
now,
come on.
Eagles 11-5,
Over.
highest in the NFC, and they were 14-3 last season. Super Bowl champions, of course.
Yep. Oh, I don't see a regression. I see overs.
I'm going to go the over because despite their losses on the defensive side of the ball, I still think they have an awesome roster. And Jalen Carter will be the best defensive tackle in the NFL at the end of the season.
Depoy?
We haven't not doing
Not
a
done our
little early
predictions
for our
yet. Okay,
futures,
all right.
but I'm saying he's on his way to be there, and I think he will be this time next year. And the defensive side of the ball, I'm not going to go through all their skill position players because they've retained everyone. They're fine.
Yeah.
But that means
I went under.
so you're not backing a repeat winner in the NFC, that trend to continue 22-3 years and counting?
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, Washington are the obvious potential opponent there. I have them, if I had to guess, I would say 11 wins, and the line's 11.5. The only reason I have them slightly declining in the regular season is because I think the rest of this division gets significantly better. That's just a hunch that I have. But I still think these guys will, 11 wins is a good season, and they'll make a deep playoff run. I'm very confident they'll be there when it matters. It's just regular season maybe not as simple as last year.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Over for me as well. Washington, 9.5.
Over.
They went 12-5 last season.
Yeah, I think they go over.
I think they have the same record. No
Yeah.
second-year blues. They did something important in bolstering that O-line. Like, I still can't believe that Houston traded Tunsil to them. It just blows my mind, their left tackle.
And didn't really replace him. Discussion for next week on the Texans.
That's right. And then they drafted Josh Connolly on the other side as a tackle. So I like their moves. I like what they're doing here.
Yeah, bring in Deebo Samuel as well. The offensive line you mentioned. Now, this is the highest projected win total for Washington since 2001 to start the season.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So
Those poor fans.
yeah.
Well, enjoy your time in the sun. I've got faith in Dan Quinn too. I just think it's all working there.
I do too. I think now what they do have though, 5 of their 9 away opponents last year all made the playoffs. The Packers, the Eagles, the Chiefs, Chargers, so they got a West Coast trip, and the Vikings.
It's a tough
So there's
few games.
tough games, tough away games there. But I don't know if they'll win 12. I'll back them to win 11 games. I'm going the over for Washington as well. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, their line is 7.5, and they went 7-10 last season.
I've got a lot of overs, haven't I?
I'm going over.
They have to go. Dallas have to win more than 7 games this year, don't
Well,
they?
they traded for a wide receiver in Pickens, and they drafted a running back, albeit 5th round, Jaden Blue. But finally, they did some stuff, so I have to back them in and say they go over 7.5. Dak's back. Surely they're a better team now.
Well, a lot went wrong. I mean, Dak didn't play after week 8, and
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb was banged up for a lot of last season as well. He was sore for basically 2/3 of the season.
7.5 feels a low line.
It does. New head coach, Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, true.
New defensive
that's true.
coordinator, Matt Eberflus. Rico Dowdle's gone as their leading running back. So now you've got Jaden Blue, who we like,
Yep.
Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
But, Hall of Famer, Zach Martin, retired.
Yep.
O-line was up and down last season. The defense was very porous last season against the run and the pass, but they had a lot of injuries in the secondary all season. They've got the Jets, Panthers, and Raiders and the they play the Giants twice, obviously, but Jets, Panthers, and Raiders at home
That's nice.
this season, which
Very
is
nice.
Which is nice.
They'll find a
for
way to
them.
lose 2 of those.
Well, that's why I'm going the under. I think they'll win.
Are you really?
I'm going the under. I'm not on Dallas.
That's not that
Surprising,
surprising.
isn't it?
to be honest, yeah.
Are you surprised? Last team, the Big Blue New York Giants. Their line, the lowest in the conference at 5.5 wins, and they went 3-14 last season. Bless you.
Thank you.
5.5 is so low. Like Russell's good enough to win a couple of games, but I don't think the Giants are good enough to win a couple of games.
So
It's almost feel, you have to almost take the under.
No, I'm going over. I've got some optimism here. In fact, I'm so optimistic, and I know that I pointed fun at them with one of my recent reels, suggesting subliminally they may still end up 3-14. But I think come week 12, there'll still be a chance to play playoffs. They'll then get knocked out of contention like week 13, but they'll have a record that's like 6-6 around that time, and yeah, I think they can get 7 or 8 wins this year. The Giants. So I'm going over.
I'm going the under. They have by strength of schedule, the hardest schedule in the league next season.
Why?
Well, they've got
Isn't it meant to
their
be
usual
equalised?
division
Well,
games.
their division games would be quite difficult.
Then they've got the NFC North and the AFC West.
Oh.
Then their unique games are against San Francisco, the Patriots, and then the Saints.
That's not too bad, but that's yeah.
Well,
Still,
no, I'll
Pats
back
should
New
be on the way
England to.
up. Saints are probably the only one that.
You'd probably they might start favourite. The Giants
That's
in that
actually a
game.
good point, Dos. I'll probably take the under now as well after
I've convinced you.
you've convinced me.
I'm sticking fat. We've got Giants supporters who need some hope listening to this.
We
I'm
do
going
have a
over.
lot of Giants supporters.
I'm going and I'm sucking up to them after my reel last week.
So I'm going to go the under. So there we go. We'll do the AFC next week. So that
Nice,
was
Dos.
a bit of fun.
All right, that's the over-unders, and we've got something very important coming up. It's been a while, boys, since we've heard this.
Hawley's Heroes. This is a bit of everything. Justin Fields will be leading the MVP race after 4 weeks of the season. He's in my heroes because he will be a hero for the Bears. Christian McCaffrey, 2,700 combined yards for the year. The Bears will be 4-0. Dak will bowl out this year. You'll see Dallas, number 1, bang. Tyler Algier, my boy from Atlanta, who'll be the number 1 RB.
So that was Hawley's Heroes. You happy with how that went, Hawley?
Yeah, because they are heroes.
I love it.
Listening back, some of those were pretty bad calls, weren't they?
It's so hard, though, because they would have just been forgotten if I didn't immortalize them for the last 3 years in an intro.
Tyler Algier, that went backwards. He was close though.
Yeah, but they drafted Bijan after you said that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
So
yeah.
that was unfair.
Was unlucky.
It looks ridiculous now that Bijan's been there for 2 years.
Justin
All right.
Fields every- All right, the new Hawley's Heroes.
Yeah.
3 rookies.
And just for context, I mean, for those who haven't listened to it before, Hawley's Heroes, they're basically just guys that you are bullish on for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
And there's no rules around it, is there? There's no real...
Oh, it's just the guys I like.
Yeah.
There's no real reasoning to it. I mean,
Hey.
a lot of the guys are guys that I've drafted in fantasy football, so
You
I
hit
wanna
on
follow
Dom.
them.
You hit on Dom Pooney
That's
last
right,
year.
hit on
Star
Dom
rookie
Pooney.
guard.
That was so random.
One of my better hits that one.
Mate, it
Ross.
was magnificent.
That's all that O-line tape that you watched at
Yes,
college
it is.
of Dom Pooney.
Yes, it is. All right, we'll start off with an easy one. Tet McMillan. Sorry, almost choked. He's going to
It
save.
is emotional.
He's going to save Bryce Young's career. He's going to carry the Carolina Panthers to the playoffs. He's going to break the rookie receiving record for receptions this year. He's a big boy, Dos. He's a star. He's Bryce's only target, and Carolina rejoice. You just drafted yourself a Hall of Famer.
Oh,
That's my boy Tet.
so he's going to break
who
Brock
are you taking
Bowers'
at 103? Who are you taking at 103 in our next draft?
It could have been Tet McMillan.
Okay, I didn't expect you to go quite as hard there. A future Hall of Famer. Is this the second year in a row that you've predicted the Panthers to make playoffs?
It is.
Because that was your worst call of the entire year.
It is,
last year.
but I'm on the Bryce Young train.
You don't say.
Yeah, the last month was
right.
decent last year.
Well, look, this is why he has his own segment for this stuff, because he doesn't hold back, Dos. When he buys in with everything he owns. So I like it. Okay, Tet, all aboard.
All right, the first running back who will be part of Hawley's Heroes this year is Quinshon Judkins.
Where's the T coming from in that pronunciation?
Judkins.
Judkins.
Yeah, Judkins. It was emotional again. Now, Nick Chubb, fellas. He had almost 7,000 yards at 5.1 yards per carry with the Browns. Is he a Jet or is he just at a quality organisation who knows how to play good football
kidding.
and run the ball behind a great line? Look,
The
we don't know.
disrespect to Chubb.
Who knows and who cares because it's QJ's time, fellas. Ashton is the clear favourite.
Nick who?
Nick who? Never heard of the bloke. Weak knees is what they're calling him. Ashton is the clear favourite for offensive player of the rookie of the year. But this bloke is walking into an RB1 role and will absolutely thrive this year. Thrive, Doss.
He will. I will back that, but the disrespect to Chubb was unnecessary.
It was
and
I didn't
uncalled for.
disrespect him. It was just a question. Question I had to ask.
What was the question? Is Nick Chubb the worst running back to ever play for the Browns? Is that the question?
Is he a good running back or was he just at a quality organisation
Yeah,
who
he's
knows how to run the football? And that is
Absolutely carried
what
the Browns.
QJ is rolling into.
It's funny because 2 weeks ago before the draft, everyone was saying, well, Henderson was a clear number one at Ohio State over Judkins. There's very unlikely that Judkins
Different
gets
players.
taken.
They're different
Yeah, they're
players.
different players. But then Judkins goes 2 picks before Henderson, and now is he going to be a Hall of Famer too?
Oh, well, it's likely.
I like that a lot.
All right, second running back in Hawley's Heroes and the final play for tonight
Oh,
is my boy Cam Scatterboo Das.
Scat.
The disrespect this man has received throughout his career. Pick 105 in the draft after he was a Heisman Trophy runner-up, or fifth, that's close enough, an All-American the year prior, 2,300 yards in 2024, 271 yards, 2 TDs, a 2-point conversion, and the MVP in the 2025 Peach Bowl. The first time in 26 years it's gone to a player in the losing team. The New York Giants had Saquon Barkley. You remember Saquon? But now they have Cam Scatterbo,
Offensive player of the year.
the
Saquon
man
Barkley.
they call the marble.
yes.
He rolls.
He's catching on.
He rolls, and you just can't stop the fella. If it's not Genty, if it's not Judkins, then it will be the marble, Doss.
If nothing else, if this podcast one day for some reason stops, which I don't foresee, by the way, but if it does, say the worst happens, if there's one thing I want to be remembered for, it's calling Cam Scatterbo the human marble.
He is the
built
human
like
marble.
a marble.
He is the human marble. But that sums up Hawley's Heroes. So we've got Quinshawn
Like that.
Judkins,
Judd.
Tet McMillan, and Cam
Have you typed
Scatterbo.
Judd in?
No, it's got a D there. I know how to spell his name.
On pronunciations, can we settle on Scatterbo or Scatterboo?
No, I'm not sure.
Because everyone they call him Scatterboo, but there's no way that's Scatterboo. There's one O at the end. How is that
Scatterboo.
Scatterboo?
I'm good with
Cam
Scatterbo.
Yeah, Scatterbo. And whilst we're on that, if we're changing things, can we start calling A-Chain A-Chain?
Oh, is it A-Chain?
No, but it should be.
Oh, it should
There's
be.
an E on the end. How is that not A-Chain? Can we
Well,
just...
chain
doesn't want his-
CHAIN.
Yeah.
You know, but what other word in the English language is spelled A-N-E and it is pronounced with a hard N? Riddle me that.
Couldn't find one off the top of my head. Yeah.
Anyway, Scatterbo. What are your thoughts on Scatterbo, Dos?
I'm good with Scatterboo.
No, sorry, as a player. I mean,
Oh, I like him.
the human marble.
Yeah, he's going to carry the Giants to 3 wins next season.
and Russell carried them to the other 14.
Please. No, I do like him.
Okay.
I think
Favourite
I
player?
think he's going to have a very nice season.
Favorite player in the Heroes this time around, Dos?
Oh yeah, good question.
Favorite
Cam,
player?
Tet, and Q-Dog?
Not Q Dog.
Oh.
Oh no, I like Judkins. I'm good with Scatterboo.
Scatterboo.
Okay. Let's go with Scat.
He's very, very low on
I
Tet.
cannot believe you didn't have RJ Harvey in there. You're just keeping him quiet.
I'm just a little worried.
I'm not.
Because
I think he's going to be
if he's the
awesome.
guy, he's the guy in Denver.
Yes.
But Peyton, he's honoured the guy. So he's honoured Kamara, but otherwise he's still happy playing a little RB1-2-3 game and shares
Sean
it.
Payton has come out and handpicked him back end of the second round and said, "You're coming with me."
Yeah, no, I hope he succeeds for
I think he's going to be very good for anyone that picks him up in fantasy.
the Quag's sake.
I mean, I'm not in fantasy, but
Yeah, you don't want to put your.
keep your
Money on
eye
the
on him because
line,
I think
yeah.
he's going to have a very good season.
All right, joke of the week. What does a storm cloud wear under his raincoat? Thunderwear.
Kurt gives nothing, just sits there playing around with the dials.
that was pathetic.
The joke.
No, your reaction to the funny joke.
What do you think, Toss?
Yeah, I liked it.
Liked it?
Yeah.
All right. That's joke of the week.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Hey, they can't all be winners. That's the show. Sports Card World Adelaide on Instagram. JerichoAustralia.com. Code Outback for 15% off for you, the listener or the viewer of the Outback QB podcast. We've got a few more weeks of these big shows, and then we'll have a few off-season mini pods, which we'll pre-recording one after this episode as well, Dos, aren't we? It's all happening.
Yeah, plenty. Content. Just subscribe and follow us everywhere.
An impending arrival in my family, just a heads up for everyone listening. So if we do go off air for one Monday night randomly, that's why we're on call here. But for the moment being, there's nothing changing. So we'll see you all here next Monday. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. 5-star rating if you enjoyed that, please. It would be very, very helpful for us. And we'll leave them with that, Dos.
Hey, Kurt.
Yo.
What's Thanos' favorite app on his phone?
What?
Snapchat. Yeah, he snapped in the movie. Just clicked his fingers.
No, I haven't seen it.
Have you not seen the Avengers? Endgame or?
I saw one of them many years ago.
Kurt's not a
bore me.
superhero guy.
Yeah, I rewatch them all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, all the time.
It's hard to keep track of, isn't it?
Too
with
many.
Avengers. It
Too
seems
many.
to be like one coming out, and then there's
If you see them all,
everyone's got their own.
if you've
every
seen them all, then you
character's
can
got
keep
their own
track.
series and
But it seems like there's a new Marvel movie every 3 weeks. It's too much.
Nah, it's like every 3 months.
Is it?
All right, cool. Let's get moving.
Flat ending.
Someone will appreciate the Marvel joke.
Jedders or CD to have more yards next season.
CD.
Okay,
Is the show still going or what? What are we doing here?
it's just an impromptu little
CD.
credit
See you next
segment.
week.
CD 2000 and Pickens.
2000?
Pickens 1800.
Oh, greatest show on turf number.
Dak 30,000.
And
See you next week.
Pickens goes at 40 yards per catch. Kurt still doesn't rate him.